Hello and welcome to Let's Enter the Arena. I'm your host, VM Campos, and this is the podcast where I talk with a different member of the Magic the Gathering community every single episode, where we talk about our tips, tricks, tragedies, and triumphs as we play Magic Arena. Well, everyone, as you listen to this episode of the podcast, Zendikar Rising has risen. So we have a chance to play with the latest and greatest cards in paper, if you're able to get them in paper. Now, last week was the pre-release, so if you were able to get a pre-release pack, you might have already been playing with real-life cards. And before that, on Wednesday, there was the early access streamer event. So shout out to Wizards of the Coast. Thank you for inviting me on that, and like 900 other people to play Zendikar Rising before anyone else. As a matter of fact, I met a very cool person that also was playing and streaming Zendikar Rising, and she's my guest at the moment. Please welcome AngleofReason.
Hello!
So we've got a lot of magic to talk about, but first, how are you doing? How has your week gone so far after we started to play Zendikar on Arena?
Honestly, I took the pre-access event and I just threw myself at it.
Mm-hmm.
I started the moment they gave it to me and ran it for 10 or 11 hours. And so by the time the stream was over, I just went, oh, I can't handle anymore. For 3 days, I was like, oh, no magic. No magic. I can't do it. So we started getting back into it yesterday doing drafts.
Yeah, too much of a good thing, everything, how does the saying go? Everything in moderation, even moderation.
Well, and it was more of, I'm friends with a lot of streamers, and a lot of the other streamer friends that I know dropped their streams for the day to come and support my stream. One even was a moderator for my channel for the whole day, passing out codes and doing things for the drawing. And so I really felt like I should break for the next couple days, since they all break from their streams to visit mine, and just spend a couple days lurking and promoting their streams. So,
well, let's promote your streams. What are what's your online presence? What, Twitter or Twitch or YouTube or whatever links you'd like to share?
So it's just Twitch at AngleofReason. I'm not that big of a streamer. I average about 5 or 6 people, but it's always a lot of fun. I'm really about the social magic play and talking and taking advice and battling other people. I started on Twitch playing Shinobi Striker, and when it died, I was looking for anything, and I happened upon Magic doing that. And then Twitch killed me when they came out with that featured streamer. I was kind of like, oh, I just stopped getting views, for anything. And so I went to Mixer. And Mixer is really where I built myself. And we built my whole community that I have there. And so when Mixer went down, we really thought it was the death of us. We were all, it's over, everything we built is over. Only 10 people streamed Magic on Mixer. And so, if you wanted Magic, you had to come to me. It was an untapped market. So I've been really shocked when we came back to Twitch, and I pulled 25 people for the pre-release for Magic, and it was like, how is this even possible?
Yeah. Well, that's cool. I'll put your links into the show notes so more people can come and hang out with you while you stream. Do you have a schedule when you're active?
I used to have a schedule, but COVID kind of punched that schedule in the face. Because my daughters not have school, and when we moved from Kansas to Virginia about 6 months ago, we're trying to sell our house, and so we moved into this tiny trailer. And so since there's no school, my husband's working from home, my daughter's at home, we're in this little 700-foot trailer while we try to sell our house, and there's so much noise between the TVs, the running around, that I really have to just pick whenever it's quiet to stream rather than having a schedule lately. So it's kind of just whenever I can get in there right now.
Okay. Well, at any point, even if it's not on a schedule, is a good time to play Magic, and so people should turn on their notifications so that they know when you're live.
Yes, please.
Well, as a first-time guest to the podcast, let's get to know you a little bit. So one of the first questions I ask people is, how long have they been playing any form of Magic, whether it's paper or digital?
So I started playing at Ravnica. I never played paper Magic as a kid. I wanted to, but my parents thought Sailor Moon was evil, so they were never gonna let Magic cards into the house.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said about when Shinobi Striker died, I started looking on the Alpha Beta Testers webpage for like games to play, and I happened across a post for Magic the Gathering in open beta, and I was like, it's really close to my anniversary. Why don't I play that game? And wouldn't it be a real shock for my husband if for our anniversary he popped up and suddenly I knew how to play a game that he played through his whole childhood. And so it was kind of like an anniversary present for my husband that kind of turned into a present for myself.
Yeah, the best kind.
And so I'd never touched Magic before the Ravnica block.
Now, this is the most recent Ravnica block that was just on Arena, not the previous paper Magic. Paper.
That is correct.
Oh, okay, cool. So that would be sometime around like early 2019 or so, I guess, or late 2018, around that time maybe that you got into it?
About 2 years, yeah.
Okay, so cool. I get a variety of people playing Magic on this podcast, that some started like way back in the 90s, and then some that started when Arena started, and everywhere in between, and some people that played this ancient game called Magic Online. So I just have a variety of people coming to play, so that's cool. So then Arena is your entry into Magic. Now, side note here, have you heard like people are saying those that were playing before Arena are known as boomers, and those that started to play with Arena are known as zoomers? Have you heard about that?
No, that's kind of funny. Every time Max and Joe start yelling at me, I'm going to start going, okay, boomer.
Yeah, exactly. There's always that like definition of groups, and like, well, boomer used to mean something else, but now in Magic, you're a boomer if you started before Arena, and now you're a zoomer if you started after.
I love that. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So you started Magic pretty recently. Now, I'm not showing off or anything, but I did play Magic back in the 90s. Now, I don't have a Black Lotus. I don't have any of those valuable cards. I played between 1995 and 1999 or so. So that was when my high school was going on. And so I do have still those old paper cards. They're all totally beat up and not worth anything because we didn't have sleeves back then.
So I can refer to you as boomer the rest of this episode now then?
Of course, because that's when we have to find even a term that's even older than that, because playing back in the 90s, that's got to be like, ancient boomer, because it's even further back then, right?
Yeah.
So I played back then, but I gave it up for a long time. So between 2000 and 2017, I never played it. I just still kind of knew that it existed. But then I got the bug to start playing it again. I took out my cards. I still had them in storage in 2017. And so I got back into Magic in 2017 with the set Hour of Devastation, which is now back on Arena. So it all comes full circle. And I got into the beta of Arena as well. And I've been playing also since 2018 on Arena. So that's a little bit about myself, where I came from. But isn't it cool to see that at all skill levels, at all times in a person's life, Magic can be there for someone, and they can get into the game and enjoy it in whatever ways possible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a thing. I owe Magic a lot at this point. I mean, all my friends that I socialize with, all the people online that bring me so much happiness, I have met through Magic. There's been a definite quality of life change. I'm a stay-at-home mom right now because of my kid, and daycare is just so expensive, and so it's just given so much more than I've taken from it.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it, because Magic, the name, Magic the Gathering, it was designed for people to play 1v1 or in a group and so forth. And now, because we might not be able to gather in real life, we have digital ways to do it. And like you said about your stream, you got like a big amount of people coming to check you out during the early access, and you had your following on Mixer, and like, let's keep that going. Let's keep the digital gathering of it all, keep it going.
Since coronavirus started, we started this thing in my Discord called Drunk Fight Night, in which twice a month we get together and they play let's beat Angle as hard as we can, because every time I lose a 1v3 match versus them, I have to take a shot. And so the night just gets progressively, funnier as the night goes. And like Joe, who I met one night, me and Altar Boy, everybody else at Fight Night was over. They had all left. And me and Altar Boy were like, we're going to go raid somebody. We're going to code raid somebody. We're going to do this. And we run into this random guy's stream and convince him to join our drunken selves inside our Discord. And so he's streaming and he pops into this Discord with these two drunk peoples, and we just take over his stream, and he's my best friend now. And so it's Fight Nights always delve into this crazy, insane thing that's just everybody looks forward to it.
That's really cool. That's there's, to be honest, the world of content creators is saturated in terms of everyone's playing everything, and now that we're all in lockdown, we're playing even more. But what you're doing there sounds like one of the most unique things. I haven't heard people do that, where, yeah, there's the Discord community that you build, but here you are making it unique in yours and with a little bit of alcohol. And by the way, what were the shots that you were taking?
Tequila.
Okay, you're going straight for the hard stuff, shot after shot. And how many did you end up taking?
I generally slow down after 4 or 5 shots. I grab some beers because I'm not about to start throwing up on top of my computer on stream.
Yeah. Now, what did you go for? Silver or añejo, reposado? Which kind of?
I go for the stuff that's got the blue agave in it.
Oh, okay.
Because something about the natural balances of the sugars in blue agave don't give you hangovers.
Yeah, I think it also depends on a person. I know someone that she can only really take Tito's vodka. Everything else is a little too much for her and gives her headaches and such. But then give her some of that Tito's and she'll be fine, dancing on the table. So cool. I gotta stop by one of those drunk nights. Hopefully, it won't conflict with my own streaming. But
I think we're doing one Saturday night this week.
Okay, I gotta check my times and see how our time zones match up. But cool. I'll be on the lookout for it. So then, what would you rank your skill level? Beginning, intermediate, advanced, somewhere in between?
I'm probably at this point somewhere in intermediate. I've managed to hit the mythic ranks in standard. I got as far as Diamond 1 with my own deck. And the real reason I've been held back is I really don't like net decking. I really like making my own decks. And I've kind of, for the long time, had that pompous attitude of I don't want to play what everybody else is playing. I want my own thing. And I think I finally hit that intermediate stage when I finally hit that realization. Fine, I'm going to join everybody else. I'm done with that. I'll do it. And I've had a couple really good coaches. And my problems in Magic right now, where I'm still learning, is order of operations mess me up sometimes.
Sure.
And I was so proud of myself. I was streaming yesterday, and I was so proud of myself, and I was talking with one of my friends, and I was like, see, I dropped my land after my creatures. And I was like, are you happy? I did that, and nobody told me to. And then all of a sudden, I was like, we're in a landfall deck, and I'm just about to drop a landfall creature. This is what I get for listening to your guys. And so it's kind of funny. I've had a couple people that have played for a long time tell me that I'm getting up there. I'm not there yet, but
yeah, it's a process, and Magic is one of the most complex games out there. So everyone should be forgiven that I played that wrong, and I played it out of sequence. And even people that have been playing for a while, even the pros, from what I understand, they've got a 60% win rate. And if you're going by grading, 60%, that's a D minus. But even the pros have to be completely mindful of everything that they do. Okay, so intermediate, very cool. Now, I would count someone that has made it up to Mythic as an advanced player, but we'll be humble. We'll say, yeah, I've made it to Mythic, no big, but I'm still intermediate. So,
I would consider myself intermediate because I hit the wall with my own deck, and I had to go down with that stupid Goblins deck to get there. I hit my wall, and I was just like, fine. If I can't beat them, I'll join them. And I downloaded this stupid Goblins deck and rampaged the rest of the way through Historic with it.
Yeah.
So that's why I'd give myself an intermediate range. For me, I think that there's more skill in doing it yourself than just, I know a lot of people just download the decks, but that was a real wall for me for a long time. I really didn't want to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's totally understandable. I have the full spectrum of people on the podcast saying, like, I just had a guest recently saying, the net decking shouldn't be a negative thing because XYZ. And then other people say, yeah, net decking is bad because of XYZ. So I think everyone's got the opinion. Everyone's got a valid opinion. It's just, whatever you're trying to do with Arena, it's not a life and death thing.
I think net decking is the reason for the increase in bans lately. I think that so many people are wanting to win at all costs and then win as many matches as they can, that they just keep downloading the meta decks. And every time another meta deck takes over, they download the next meta deck. And it creates a situation in which, though there's so many people playing that same deck, that cards that shouldn't be banned are getting banned because they're being played too much. And so I think it's a problem that's perpetuating itself.
I agree on that. I think it is that when it is, now that we're so connected to the internet and we're able to download those decks, that I do think that can definitely perpetuate things. And Rosla, a previous guest, and I were talking about this exactly, that like everyone just goes to get the best deck and like there's no diversity in the decks. And then we came upon the idea, like, what if somehow the system was able to detect, oh, this is a deck that someone else has used. You don't advance one rank, you advance half a rank or something like that. I don't think they're going to do that, but we were just kind of...
No, they'll never do that.
Yeah. But yeah, that is a concern. And I myself, like, I also like to make my own decks, and I really like to focus on like tribal decks. I play Standard, I play Historic, I play Brawl. I really like Brawl, in that kind of feels like an open field a little bit more than trying to climb that ladder where everyone's at the same goal. So I like to build decks that are very tribal, like maybe it's not the most powerful deck, but I built it, I got some wins, I had fun, my cat deck kind of won, it's not going to be tier or whatever, but I built it. But yes, I also succumbed to, well, let me see what is the hot deck, and yes, I also played the Goblin deck, and I didn't get to Mythic, however, with it. Surprisingly, I don't think anyone's playing this deck, but I made a mono-white Ulamog deck in Historic. So it's basically a ton of mana rocks, a couple of board wipes, we have Little Ugin, which has the cost reduction to get to Big Ugin, and then there's also Ulamog at the 10 drop, and that got me to Mythic, and I streamed it, so there's proof that this weird jank deck actually did it without having to be one of the tier decks.
Well, it's even a funny thing. So Ugin became a meme inside my stream, in that one night when we were having drunk fight night, my husband and I were playing against each other, and he dropped an Ugin against me, and I just screamed out, "Husbands don't play Ugins against their wives." And like one of the other people in my Discord turned it into a song, and he's been every night he starts out, "Husbands don't play Ugins against their wives." It's become a whole, like I said, I'm a real social Magic gamer, and that's kind of fun stuff you'll get when you wander into my stream.
Yeah. Well, that sounds really fun that you have such talented people making memes, making unique in-jokes about your own community. That's really fun. But I totally agree. Husbands should not play such a bad card against their wives.
My husband just heard it. He's just sitting over here rolling his eyes.
Well, what is a card at the moment that you're enjoying? Maybe not a tier card or whatever, but just a card that you like to play for the memes of it, for the art of it, for what it does, or for whatever reason.
I believe we already talked about this. It's the love of my life right now is Veto.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, if anybody listening here likes to do art, I am hardcore looking for some, real buff artwork of me and Vito getting married. I'll pay for it.
Will you make that your avatar in every social media platform if someone makes that?
I could, yeah. It's I need it.
Mm-hmm. So then how do you like to combo, or how do you like to use Vito in a Historic Standard Brawl deck, or like how do you like to put Vito into decks?
I had real fun with him in this deck I call Judgment in Standard with the Indulging Partitioner, Veto, and the Griffin-Eerie. I just love throwing Revitalize and taking six life from them, gaining 3 life for myself, and getting a 2/2 flyer for 2 mana. I bumped my way through the diamond with that deck. And then there's always Gary or Gray.
Yeah.
It's always fun to double whap somebody with Gary and Veto. So beautiful.
Do you like then sort of like life gain and life drain strategies in your own brews?
I seem to focus pretty heavy on the life drain. I like getting something more than just taking away from the person.
What colors then? Black and white or Orzhov or mono black, or like what colors do you like to play then?
I've got a mono white life gain deck that's just got literally as much life gain as you can get in there. I've got my black Veto deck, and then I've got my black white Judgment deck, and those are the pretty 3 cards. I've got a nice historic Uzi deck that I've been making, which I'm excited to put to get that new card from Zendikar Rising, the Swarm.
Scoot Swarm?
Yeah, I'm so excited to get that Scoot Swarm in there because I've got Rias in that deck. And so I can't wait to like quadruplicate clones of tokens.
I saw so many people trying. Well, we created our own meta when we played the early access event, didn't we? And I saw a lot of people were trying to get that Scoot Swarm working, and I think I played against Nisa Meow Meow, and she like did some amazing deck that, yeah, there were so many of those little bugs out so fast with those Lotus Cobras, and then that one Elemental Ashaya or Ayesha or something, whatever it's called, that one tree elemental, and that those bugs, people are loving those bugs.
So, and then that with the biomechanical ooze with the new oozes that is out, it's gonna be fun.
I think Ooze Tribal is coming together in Standard, perhaps.
Is biomechanical ooze still Standard?
Oh, that's a good question. Yeah, I'm still thinking like that we're in the current Standard, but it just rotated, so we gotta adjust our thinking. I've got to adjust my thinking that we're missing a lot of we're missing a lot of our pieces now in Standard.
Yeah, I think it's a historic only deck right now.
Yeah, I think all my decks are pretty much historic now because there was a big shakeup that we just had.
Yep, and I love that it's a cleric too, so I'm looking forward to making some cleric tribal with Veto.
I think with the new Zendikar mechanic of party, you can also get a little bit of advantage there. There's a couple of life gain, life drain vampire clerics in Zendikar Rising, so get Veto in on that party, and you have even more action.
He's just so versatile. I mean, he was my first big triumph in Magic. Like, I didn't really know that infinite combos were a thing or that existed because I don't really go around and watch videos on how to play Magic. I'm a real practical player, and I've done most of my training, aside from the few people that have mentored me, just through personal play. And when I figured out the Exquisite Blood and Veto combo, I was like on top of the world. Like, I thought I created a whole new thing. Like, it's an infinite combo. I was like nuts about it. Like, and then I was like, oh, everybody already knew about this, but I'm so proud of myself for thinking about it.
Not everyone, of course, because remember when you came to my stream and I thought I was about to pull it off, but whoops, it was the wrong cards.
Yeah, I know. It's one of those tricky. The wording on that was tricky to make you think that it was going to work. And then once you really look at it like 3 or 4 times, you're like, oh, no, they're the same trigger. Yeah.
So I like to play. I also like to put black in my decks. I either like mono black decks, and I also shout out to Veto. I also I think I have a brawl deck with him, and maybe one standard deck or so. So I like mono black. Gray Merchant is in a deck or two, Or I like to go with Orzhov, so black and white, because I like that synergy that also happens with some life gain. I also like some life gain strategies. Or I like to go with Demir, so black plus blue, and sometimes throw in some really mean counter spells plus the drain and such. So it looks like we're both sort of along the same mindsets about black is one of our favorite colors, along with white.
Mm-hmm.
So, do you have any cool, fun, weird moments that come to mind that have happened on Arena? Maybe you had a very cool win or a very cool loss or anything in between.
I have a very stubborn win. So I was up playing. I told my husband I was going to play 1 or 2 more matches in Standard before I went to bed. And I got into this match with that Goblins deck I mentioned before.
Mhm.
And about turn 4, the dude drops 9 lives, and I'm sitting here pompous, like, I've got like 20 goblins, dude. That 9 lives ain't gonna save you. And then he drops Solemnity. And I'm sitting here going, I can't win. And then I was like, you know what? I'm still gonna go for it. And so I create like 20 goblins and I hit them with like 40 goblins. It doesn't do anything. But I noticed that the animation on Solemnity has to make that animation for literally every goblin that is attacking. And so I call up my friend, he's Joe Cherries, he's with the Nitpicking Nerds, and I'm like, dude, you gotta come over here and see this match. I think I'm gonna try to break Arena. He was like, what? And so an hour into this match, this other guy hasn't quit. I was like, I'm gonna win, but he's gonna quit. I'm gonna win, because he didn't seem to have any board wipes in the match. So I'm making 1,000 goblins a turn. With 1,000 goblins, I attack him with it. It takes 25 minutes for Solemnity to ping the animation for every one of those goblins. And all of a sudden, as I'm sitting here, I wasn't streaming, but my OBS Streamlabs was still up, and the guy I'm fighting gives me a follow on Twitch. I'm like, oh, he's still there! And at this point, he's like, dude, I want to see what happens. And so, next turn, I tap out and make 2,500 goblins. And that almost breaks Arena. And then at some point, after an hour later, as we're still waiting for the system to be capable of registering the fact that it's got to ping Solemnity 3,000 times for the 3,000 goblins, Arena finally airs out and makes the match a draw. And I'm like, it took 2.5 hours, but I did not lose.
Yeah. Wow, that's pretty fun. So you had Krenko really doing work, calling even more and more goblins then.
Yes, it was worth a laugh. It was one of those things, who's really going to sit there? And then Joe was just like, well, why are you just sitting here for 3?
Yeah, exactly. That's like, I think Arena has either given us like very short attention spans, like, oh, this game is not going well, concede, go to the next one, or has given us a very stubborn streak about, no, I'm going to sit through this, I'm going to get this done, and we'll see what happens.
That's the most recent one that I can think of. I'm sure there have been plenty of other ones, but that's the one that stands out the most. I was really stubborn that night.
Well, something that stood out for me, it's not even like from real gameplay, but I was playing 1v1. I did direct challenge with Toad Boy, someone on my Discord, and we were just playing our decks, and he was playing kind of a really weird, interesting meme deck, and for whatever reason, Arena timed out, and I know what the reason was, because we were playing on the day that the update happened, so everyone was having problems. But what happened was it kind of froze on my end, and we were still able to chat in the little in-game chat system. And I was telling him, whoops, I'm frozen. Let me try to restart. I'll be right back. So I turned off Arena. I did a force quit on it. And then I came back into Arena. And it automatically brought me back to the game. But it suddenly switched to the fabled secret developers screen. The screen that only Wizards of the Coast employees can see. Have you heard about this?
Yeah, I did hear about that. I saw a screenshot of it. That's interesting.
Yeah, so I I don't know how much we can talk about this because it's like, behind the scenes information at Wizards of the Coast. Even though they acknowledge that some people got into the screen, I don't know how much we're able to say about it. But this screen had like so many options and like all the behind the scenes about what Arena is. I couldn't actually do anything. I could see things, but I couldn't do anything. I saw that there's an option there that you can change what mulligan rule you want. You can turn off the mulligan. You can go to the current London mulligan. You can go back to the Vancouver mulligan. And I think there was even one more. So it's like, that's the most interesting thing I've seen on Arena, but it was just a bug that got me into the secret developer screen where I saw behind the matrix of Arena.
Oh yeah, that could be a good thing or a bad thing for Arena. I think that it could make people excited for the options of gameplay that they have coming, but on the other hand, it could pick people off that they don't already have those options.
Yeah. Yeah. Someone else mentioned on my Discord about, I heard about that. And apparently there's an option to check on or off called stack the deck. So people think like that confirms the conspiracy that the shuffler is out to get you and so forth. There's a check mark. And I thought, well, it's just named that. No one knows what it does. No one except Wizards employees. And they've got a sworn blood oath that they cannot reveal that stuff. So it was kind of interesting to see behind the scenes of it all, but I think people are just a little too quick to jump on conspiracy theories or...
I just kind of wish that there was no shuffler. In regards to ranked matches, I think that you enter a match and you're a rank, you fight just a random person in that rank, that they shouldn't even consider what decks are being come into play. But just... Because I don't know, I've had that problem before where it's like I win 6 matches in a row. Like I'll be nonstop. I'll win like 6 matches, and all of a sudden I go, nope, you've won enough, and then like you'll lose like 10 matches, and you're like if you don't switch up your deck every like 6 games or so, like if sometimes it feels like you're getting personally punished for it. Mm-hmm. And so I know they're not, but it just sometimes it feels that way.
Yeah, I do also. I always read the sort of like the release notes about here's our latest patch and here's what we've done. And I remember way back a year or more ago, they would include in there about like, we've made changes to the matchup system. And I don't recall them mentioning anything like that for several months, maybe more than a year. So who knows if like they perfected it, quote unquote, to a certain point, and now they're not even touching that because they've got so many other things to worry about. And I really feel exactly like you that if you don't change up your deck every once in a while, it just feels like you're getting matched up in weird ways. I really think it should be, I'm gold, so okay, match me up against a gold player. Don't try to do calculations about what kind of deck do I have and what deck do they have, because sometimes I feel like, oh, of course I'm playing a deck that has main deck graveyard hate and my deck is graveyard based. Like, how does that even happen if it's supposed to be random? And it's not random.
It does feel like for as many deck types that there are, for as many, everything that there is out there, there's just way too often that you're in a match, especially in Standard, in which the other person has exactly what they need to defeat your deck. Like the exact cards they need is right there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I totally agree on that. I'm sure it's the perception of like, negative things stick out more in our minds than positive things, because I'm sure that we have been the person like, of course, our deck is the one that is totally going to defeat the opponent.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah. Well, so that's some cool things that have happened to us on Arena. If you consider yourself more towards the intermediate range of playing Magic, what advice would you give to people that are just starting in Magic? Now that we're stuck at home and we can't really play paper like before, and Arena is enticing to people, what would you say to brand new players of the game?
I think I would just say to surround yourself with people that are more experienced than you. There's a funny story once, is a friend of mine, I'm going to promote him because I really think he's a hidden golden gem in the Magic sector that I swear as soon as he's found, he's going to blow up. And his name is Max Combo. He knows the game with such intricate detail. I can just sit in his stream, and he only has like 1 or 2 people that watch him, and he knows how every card interacts with every card. He just posted a draft in my Discord. He went 7-0 in a draft, and he's mythically qualified. And so that's how good at draft that he is that he can go undefeated while sitting at mythic rank. And I had a stream once where he was coaching me in draft. He came into my stream and was helping me with the interactions of cards and which cards were good and which cards were bad, and basically did a 1-for-1 drop in all of Arena. And I had this guy, it was the first time he'd ever been in my stream, come in when it was over and like, hey, come on, fight me, let's fight me right now. And I was just like, oh, okay, you know, he came into the Discord, we chatted and we started fighting, and after like 3 matches where I beat him, he goes, what is going on here? And I was just like, what do you mean? You're supposed to be a crappy noob. Who told you I was a crappy noob? The other guy was telling you how to do and teaching you how to play the game. And I was just like, no, that's just how he teaches. That's just the way he does. And like, and it dawned on me that this dude thought he'd found an easy target of somebody to ramp all over, and got mad when he realized that I wasn't some new player who'd never touched the game before.
Yeah, he mistook the generosity of the other player, giving you his thought process and all of that, and I guess he just this challenger just thought like, yeah, I'm gonna get some easy wins or whatever. But I think that's some very good advice about surrounding yourself with people that are good, and I hope he does blow up, because it does sound like winning, getting to Mythic and so forth in draft and going undefeated, that is very impressive.
Yeah, I would I'm gonna totally recommend you talk to him. If he just, I don't know how to explain it. It's just that he has such an analytical brain and can, like, I don't know how many times that I've been sitting here watching him and he's like, they're gonna play this card, and then the person pops up that card because his brain works in such a way of deductive analysis to eliminate what cards they must have in their deck based on what he's seen before. And he's really good at pinpointing what they have in their hand, what they've got in their graveyard. I mean, it's just phenomenal. And watching him and interacting with him as long as I have has made me the player that I am. And he's the only reason I've probably reached that intermediate level is I've just... I'm so grateful to, you know, all the people that I've surrounded myself with. And Magic has become a community. I mean, we're like a family in there, and it's I don't know how to explain it. I know it's something I don't think a lot of people have in Magic, is a Magic family online.
Yeah,
and I recommend it so much.
Yeah, that's again going back to the gathering of it all. And here is like the best case scenario. Here's the dream scenario. Maybe one day all of you there in the Discord family will see each other in a real life Magic event when the world is safe again.
Yeah, I mean, it's a plan. I know that there's a couple that don't live too far from me that you know, and it's just, I really like going around through the small streamers. In fact, I don't stream as often as I should because I just spend so much time going around into other streams and learning from other people, and it's just been pretty good.
So on the other side of the coin, when you were first starting off to play Magic, what advice would you have liked to have gotten early on?
I think a lot of the advice I think I might have... That's really hard, man. That's looping a question like that.
I ask the hard-hitting questions on this podcast.
You know, it's so long ago. I think that saving your money and draft. People who... I think drafting is so much better than just buying packs and trying to conduct decks, because I think you're gonna... I learned how to play the set. I learned how to play the cards just by doing, like, I don't even bother like going through and reading all the cards that are going to be released, because a card can say all at once, but until you've actually seen it interact with all the other cards that are there, what it says could look so perfect, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be practical in use. And so I really like just diving into draft blind for a new set and just start drafting and playing and see how they're drafting and it makes for deck crafting a lot easier, and you're going to get more value out of Arena, I think, in cards and value just from drafting, even if you're bad at draft, than just buying packs.
I think that's very good advice. I think for new players, they probably do play constructed right away, and maybe they shouldn't jump on the ladder right away until they get used to the game. But I think draft, would be a good way for a lot of beginners to start playing with, because they get a sense of the cards. It seems that Magic boosters are mostly designed for draft, and so if you play optimally that way, in terms of, I'm going to learn the new cards, I'm going to build my card collection, and I might not win, but I'm going to learn the game. So yeah, I think that's a good way to start off as a beginner.
And I think it puts you on a more even playing field when you first start too, because all the people you're playing don't have an infinite card list, and so you have the same amount of cards. You have the opportunity to get the same cards. And it's not like you're playing with the beginning cards where they give you like those 60 card decks that are just so beginner that they're almost worthless, and playing against somebody who's got every card in the game in standard.
Yeah, that's a very good point as well. Us that we've been playing and been accumulating a card pool, that's right. When you first start Magic, they do give you some cards, but they're not tier, of course. But yeah, everyone's on a level playing field if they go into draft. Mm-hmm. Well, what is something about Magic, either the game itself, a recent set or cards, or the company or the community or whatever, that you'd like to improve about things?
Like to improve on with Magic. I think that they take too long to ban cards. Like they wait until they're almost completely out of standard rotation to finally ban them, and by the time they get around to deciding to ban cards, they've already done their damage to the format. Like there's Uro. Uro's going to get banned. It's going to happen. Yeah. And they are waiting until he's not useful anymore in standard, and it'll probably be the next Mystic Championship in which Uro ramps through it. They always wait till after the championship. Like you always see a ban list come out like the day after a championship.
It was already going to be banned in 1 month.
Yeah, and like my husband just said, is that Time Raveler didn't get banned until it was at a standard in 10 days?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I think it really affects, I know so many people that are just screaming, ban Uro, ban Uro, ban Uro, get him out of the format, because you need, 3 cards to get rid of him?
Yeah. You need to warp your deck around that card, and that's the definition of ban worthiness. That if the whole meta is warping around the one card, they had to take out Oko because 2+ abilities that did amazing things, and then you had to what else got banned? You had like Nexus of Fate and such. And when you're spending so much effort just to deal with 1 or 2 cards, that's a ban worthy offense.
Mm-hmm. And they're just they take their time, and what's going to happen, just do it. Mm-hmm. I think that they spend more time making people upset by waiting so long than they are appeasing people because they're getting the easy wins.
Yeah, I agree on that. I think because if we're focused so much on digital Magic at the moment, there's no excuse to be not a little bit swifter with the ban hammer, and people will argue, of course, that well, these cards have value, and people are trying to learn a deck, but when it warps the whole format, they should just be a little bit more proactive about it. And
I don't think they've adjusted to the difference in the meta for the game with Arena versus Paper. Yeah. Sure, in Paper Magic, it could take you an hour to play what you can play on Arena in 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And having to be able to find people and go to the shop and leave your house, you just couldn't play decks at a quick enough rate to break the game the way that you can with Arena. Mm-hmm. And I think that they're having a problem with people are breaking their game too quickly. Breaking cards just the moment they're out, they're already found a way to break them. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if maybe they need to pay a little more attention when they're creating the cards, or if I don't know. It's
it's a very difficult. It's a conundrum because they have their team of people creating the cards, testing the cards, whatever, but then there's the whole hive mind of the global internet that we're trying to play and break these cards, and there's some that are even more...
As soon as they release the set when it's not even available on Arena yet, they've already created a deck that'll break it.
Yeah. theory crafting it without touching anything at all about it. People are already breaking it. So yeah, that's our reality now, where this game that's 27 years old and 99% of its life was in paper, now that it's so much in digital, we maybe see some of the cracks in the facade, unfortunately. But it's been around 27 years. I'm sure it'll be around still a lot longer. They just need to maybe pivot towards the digital aspect of things.
Oh, I think Arena's their future, and I think they know it. They wouldn't be spending as much time as they are making the mobile apps so you could play it on the phone. And I think that's where a lot of their attention is at right now. I think we're going to get a lot more of the tweaks and stuff that we're looking for once they get that mobile app out. I think that they want to get it out so fast, and that's what they're spending a lot of their time on right now.
Mm-hmm. Well, I can't wait to see the very first TikTok videos of people complaining that their iPhone is blazing hot because they had so many scoots on the screen at once.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be fun. You have easy breaking phones rather than breaking Arena.
Yeah.
That's gonna be fun.
Well, on a more positive side, what is one thing, if you can narrow it down, what is one thing you love about Magic?
I think it's got a creative outlet. It's got a there aren't a lot of things you can do in modern life with COVID and stuff that lets you do a lot of critical thinking. A lot of games that are out there are point and click and point and shoot, and COD and all the other games out there, Fortnite. They don't have a lot of thinking. It's just play the game, and I think that's one of the reasons that Among Us is doing as well as it is. It's because it's intellectually challenging.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the best I think that Magic has to offer is you'll never stop learning. You'll never stop thinking. You'll never stop integrating new card ideas and new deck ideas, and it does not end.
Yeah, it's you might have a deck that you've crafted that you'll play forever and ever and ever, but then I'm sure there'll be cards that will come out that will make you think, what if I add this brand new card, or think of a brand new interaction, or there's a brand new card that they release that now creates an infinite combo. So even if you stick with something, there's always something that changes with Magic, and if you open yourself up to it, I think you will always be surprised by it and always have something interesting to do.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I completely agree with that sentiment.
Well, it's hard to believe, but there are more hobbies out there than just Magic. So what is one non-Magic hobby that you're also into?
I think that most of my life, the hobby that I've had, the two hobbies I've had it would be policy debate through all high school and college, and nonprofit work with it, and poker are kind of why I'm struggling in Magic now, because they're both hobbies and things that require impulsive, immediate responses. And poker, you want to react as quickly as you can and get it done as fast as you can, so you have less tells and you don't give the other people time to react to what you're doing. And it's the same with debate, is you only have moments to respond to the people around you, and so much multitasking is going on that I kind of was taking the same approach with Arena. Take as little time in my turn as I possibly can, so that the other person has to, for best of threes, now that they've added that timer, it's almost working to my advantage. Because by drop, done, not taking any time at all, it's forcing the opponent to do their thinking on their time and not mine.
Yeah.
And I've timed a bunch of people out doing that. I've won a lot of games in best of three by people timing themselves out in the third game.
Yeah, that's integrating. That's interesting how you're saying that about integrating those real life hobbies with Magic. How long have you been into, how you said, debate and those real life hobbies?
I did policy debate all 4 years of high school. I went on a full ride scholarship to my community college for it. And I worked with a volunteer agency called Debate Kansas City. When Kansas City removed their elective programs and got rid of debate in all the schools, UMKC let them create a nonprofit through their college debate program as a feeder into UMKC to create an urban debate league. And so I would go around and teach teachers who were volunteering to have teams on without being compensated and teach them how to teach debate. I would go host, lesson plans for students who are more advanced. I would hold seminars on topics or help with tournament styles. And I didn't get to do as much as I wanted with the organization because they were like 45 minutes away. But anytime I could get there, I was there working with them. And I think that debate altered my life. Without debate, I don't think I'm the person that I am. I had really bad ADHD, and debate gave me a means to focus and taught me how to organize my thoughts, and taught me I didn't win a single match my first 2 years of debate. And then all of a sudden everything that I'd learned just clicked my junior year in high school, and I went to state my junior and senior year. College debate wasn't for me.
Too hardcore?
No, people were cheating. They got lazy. So one of the things about policy debate that I loved is that there's a new topic every year, and it's a way to learn I know more about corn subsidies than I should ever know in my life, but college kids got lazy and didn't want to do the work. And so they started running anti-capitalism, Nietzsche, Heidegger. They started running theoretical arguments to we can't approve the policy that's being put forward because it exists within a capitalist environment. Capitalism itself is flawed, and this is why capitalism sucks. So as long as this plan exists within a capitalist system, don't vote for it. And you could run that on both sides. And then they get up there on the affirmative and go, capitalism is bad. No plan that we would release would work within a capitalist system, so we're not going to give you a plan.
So sort of like arguing the foundation of things, not the thing.
Yes. And it was no fun for me. I didn't like it.
Well, putting aside the college experience, it sounded like debate was very valuable to you, and also how you said you were kind of giving back to the younger generation. I think critical thinking is a very important thing in a society, and not just being complacent and letting things happen to you, and you thinking about things and reasoning things out. I think that's very important for a healthy society. So thank you for what you've done for, to give back to the community, to the youth, and hopefully you have also positively affected a whole other generation in what...
I don't know, it's just saying that I have a 10-year-old daughter, and, she's approaching that age, and we're slowly getting her into the nerd. My husband's been working the angle. He cheated. He started watching Angry Video Game Nerd while she was stuck at home all summer, and she got drawn in. He started by using the these are the broken games, and she was laughing at all the glitches, and then he went to buying a cracked Wii that had all the games that they had watched on Angry Video Nerds on it, and now they're playing them together. So we're working on that
the next generation,
drawing her into our side of the nerd.
Yeah, that's really fun. It's really fun when your offspring can follow in your footsteps, especially in the fun stuff that you like.
Yeah, she wants to stream, and I let her stream for a little bit, and she was really good at it. She's better at it than me. She immediately pulled more viewers than me, but then there's always that fear of, are they pedophiles? Is that why she's pulling more viewers than me? But she's got the personality for it, and she's the reason I started streaming. She came to me and asked if she could stream Roblox, and I'm like, stream what? I didn't even know what Twitch was. And I was like, on stream what? And then I looked up and found Twitch, and I was like, oh, well, that's kind of cool. I didn't know you could do that. Well, I better figure out how to do this in case she wants to do this, and so I had to figure out how to stream. I had to learn OBS Studios. I had to learn Streamlabs, so that if she really wanted to do it, she could do it. And so, she's the only reason I stream now.
Yeah, it's always the younger generation dragging us old timers into the new ages. Well, Angle, as we wind down, final thoughts on Magic, on the Early Access Streamer event, on anything at all?
don't know. I consider myself a fun person to watch play Magic. If you're looking for the player that's like going to win every match, that's going to know everything about the game, I got some people I can point you to for that. But if you're looking for a good time, you're looking for some laughs, you're looking for some stupid stuff to happen on the stream, you're looking to yell at me for doing stupid things, then I would advise coming to my Discord and, add a new member to our family. We do all kinds of things, from the drunk fight nights to we do community watchings. Like, we watched as a community the new Zendikar pre-release video. We have, free codes and prizes and giveaways. And I've got a sponsor. He is Game Quest Incorporated. He's my local game store. And he opens up so many packs to sell on the TCG player, so he gets all those codes. So he gives me access to like the deck packs, the 6-card packs, the bundle packs, and I've got so many promo codes to hand out. So you will get free stuff if you come see me.
Very cool. So there's the incentive of watching some gameplay and also winning some stuff. So I think that's one of the best kinds of streams.
Yeah. So, and your stream was very entertaining. I'd recommend you go check out his stream as well. You're releasing some free stuff on tonight?
Yes, actually. So thank you, Wizards of the Coast, for giving me the invitation to be a featured content creator today on Friday, September 25th. They actually gave me a few gems and a few booster packs on Arena to play on Arena, but I've also got things I'm giving away. I'm actually giving away some real-life booster packs of Zendikar Rising on my stream. So starting at 1 p.m. Pacific time until ? I'm going to be giving away real Zendikar cards to people on my stream, so people can come hang out on my YouTube or my Twitch, and we'll have some fun playing some games and giving away some stuff.
Fun stuff, free stuff. I will promote you in my Discord. I will let everybody know where to go to get the free stuff, because they like free stuff.
Thanks so much on that. Definitely. That's how you entice people. Like, everything is like, we'll play some games of Magic, but you also get some free stuff. So it's a win-win-win situation.
So what I did is I went in eBay and I was Skyping out those gigantic commander cards that they have.
Oh.
And somebody had a bundle of 100 of them up for sale for like $20. And I was like, oh, I'm going to steal that. And I bought it now. And so I'm starting to give those away in my giveaways too. Like those giant oversized commander cards. And it's like 50 cents to mail out. So
yeah, that's the thing about, I think if a person wants to grow as a content creator, you have to go beyond just what everyone else is doing, which is, it's easy to turn on, not to disparage anyone, but obviously it's quote unquote easy to turn on OBS or whatever and be live. But that extra step that you're taking there, that's really cool. It wasn't even that expensive to get all of those oversized commander cards and to mail them out to people and to have that connection about, we're not just, friends online. I'm actually in the real world, and I'm mailing you something in appreciation for being a fan, for being there.
Yeah, and and they give it back to you. Like, I didn't expect anybody to hand me any money on my pre-release stream. I've never asked anybody to sub to me. I sub to all of my other people's, and I made more money on that stream than I spent on the stuff that I handed out. And like, I didn't even expect that. Like, I didn't, I don't even have like the donation goal thing up on my stream. Like, I've never asked, and it's been a blessing to what's happened lately, and it's exciting.
It really shows the good nature of this community. When you build up a good community, everyone playing the game that they like and being part of it, you really see the best of people shine.
Yes.
Well, Angle, thank you so much for being on the podcast. If you enjoyed this experience, perhaps we'll have you back again and we'll talk even more Magic.
That sounds good. I'm going to send some people your way. I'm going to flood you with Magic streamers. That you're going to be so busy with podcasts, you ain't going to know what to do with yourself.
Excellent. I've already done like 90 episodes. I'm glad to do 900 more.
We're going to do it. We're going to set you up. I know I appreciate it. It's the first podcast I've ever done. It's a new experience for me. I was really anxious and You're very easy to talk to.
Well, thank you. I'll put it all in the notes, but just give your link one more time on your Twitch.
It's AngleofReason on Twitch. It's
all right.
Angle, not Angel. Make sure you spell that L-E, not E-L.
Yes. Angle of Reason. So keep that in mind, people. Don't go to the other person's account. You don't know what you're going to see there.
Poop videos. That's what you're going to get.
That's not reasonable.
Oh, that's funny.
This has been VM Campos. Thank you for listening to the podcast, and I'll see you in the arena.